Hello, welcome to the 43rd and probably final episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast. My name is Jan Gustafsson, coming to you from a hotel room in Dusseldorf, overlooking the Rhine River. I think it's the Rhine. And I am delighted to be once again joined by the world champions head coach Peter Heine Nielsen and Paris's head chess player Laurent Fressinet. Laurent, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad to see you are working hard.
Very hard.
Giri keeps on getting good positions, so you are working for, as much, probably much more than Peter and Heine these days.
But Peter thinks a lot more about
he thinks a lot
while he's golfing. I don't do any golfing and thinking.
How is life, Peter? Are you working a lot these days?
Well, as Jan was so kind to point out, that it's a continuous process that you constantly think about these problematics, right? So it's, 24/7 job, basically, right?
Can you let us into some of your thoughts? Like when you're golfing, do you think Berlin, interesting opening, yeah, it's still good? Or what are these thoughts?
No, but for instance, before the last World Championship match, I was in the gym and I was swimming, and suddenly, it popped up. Why don't we do this specific move order as a sort of a counter way in some of the Spanish we were discussing? So,
oh yeah, that was a terrible move order.
Really? I think it was pretty clever. But your subconscious is working all the time, right? So it's it's hard to. Sometimes you should actually let your subconscious work by not disturbing it in a way. Or I'm trying to make a case for that. We are working even when we're actually trying not to work, right?
No, I tell Anish the same. There might be nothing in the file, but my subconscious, it's 24/7, it's there.
Yes, exactly.
Thinking about your stuff. And 1.5 years ago, I thought about some move order.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, but anyway, you confused me. I forgot what the question was.
I thought your main point of the move orders before the match was after A4, we should go Bishop B7, Rook B8, or B4. That was your
No, this was something in D3 Spanish, as far as I remember.
BA4 maybe? Like the pawn is attacked.
No. But thanks for confusing our listeners. I'm sure they've all lost track by now. But
no, they know the Marshall. 8A4, very correct.
8A4 anti-Marshall. Jan is telling people for 20 years by now this is the most dangerous line against the Marshall.
It is.
And he's right. Everybody thinks so.
I think at some point you pointed out that even Kasparov said so, right?
He said Geller told him A4, H3 are both possible before the match against Short.
Uh-huh. Short, exactly. And he was going A4 anti-Marshall actually against Short.
And H3.
Yeah. So basically we just looped around to Geller was right. But I'm great. If someone asked about that, I'm back in Vilnius. I had a long stay in Denmark, but now back here and all good, ready to podcast these kind of things. So, I have a bit of back pain because I'm practicing golf in front of the mirror in the flat, but else generally in physical good.
There's Patreon premium videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Please, we should film that.
Sure.
I don't think so, but yeah. There's a lot of good golf videos. Actually, there is really a bunch compared to chess, but I don't think I could add much, at least on the golf part.
Oh, we weren't looking for good golf videos.
No, that's true. But I will. We all know that you have a sports video of me if I really get.
I do.
It's still on my phone.
I am afraid so. Yeah. Anyway, is that? Or have we asked? Jan, you're in Dusseldorf. Did you come by plane?
No, by train actually.
Because I was playing in the Ruhr area and I was flying to Dusseldorf until the airport suddenly burned down. But I assume it's back on, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen any fires.
No. I'm pretty sure they put it out by now. It's 15 years ago, but okay.
Okay. So
yeah.
Same time you were thinking about those move orders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I came by train. It's not very far from Hamburg. Yeah, I'm at the WR Masters, this ongoing super tournament with, I forgot the players, but they're all here. Nepomniachtchi, Abdusatorov, Aronyan, Giri, Gukesh, Keimer, Pragnanda, Duda, So. I'm sure I forgot one name, which is always embarrassing. Yesipenko.
Keimer,
I think I mentioned, yeah. Pragnanda, yeah.
Yesipenko.
Yeah, you can mention them again.
Okay, sorry. Okay, there's 10 players. 10 no. So, a mix of youth and, but
Giri, I mentioned Giri.
Yeah, sure.
But you're incredibly modest, Jan. You mentioned Giri as number 5. He's actually the highest rated player in the tournament.
Yeah, he's on 50%. Four games I played. Round number 5 is going on now. 4 draws, had some good positions. Didn't win any of them, so not going ideal. But it is what it is. When I took the job, I didn't expect there to be 0 draws, so it's fine.
Yeah, but you are proud of him, no? I mean, now it's like all those is what's not to like. I mean, it's great, no?
No, we're actually trying to win games once in a while. Might not look like it, but no, he had a bunch of good positions. No, basically in every game.
Especially as usual, good openings. I mean, the main thing in missed, it was in round 4, I think, against Zipenko, where it looked very good, but actually it's never easy. These pawn up positions, and it's not obvious. I mean, like, he didn't miss obvious wins, I would say.
Yeah, in round 4 against Yesipenko, he was a pawn up out of the opening, and no, there was some regrouping which would have given him a much better position, but no forced wins or anything. But in round 1, there was a forced win in this Rook Bishop versus Rook Bishop endgame against Gukesh. Against Nepomniachtchi, he had a good position. Against So, nothing special, but some slight pressure. So openings have been going well, but even though we hate to admit it, we've come to realize this. Often after the opening, you still have to win the game, even when you have a good position. And yeah, some scope there. Other than that, what can I tell you? It's a nice event, nice hotel. Everybody seems in a good mood. It's the same time control as the World Championship match, so there might have been the idea that Nepomniachtchi gets some warm up for the match. Nepomniachtchi seems very relaxed. I think drew all his games as well. Aronian won 2 games after in Vike he made a lot of draws and then lost the last round to fall back to 50%. Yeah, here he seems a bit more spirited, and there were flashes of, I'm not sure if it's fair to say the old Aronian, but he played some nice game against Pragnandar in particular. Some very dynamic stuff. Sacrificed a pawn or 2, then went for some g4. So he's been sharp. Other than that, business as usual. Keimer in a bit of trouble. Lost 2 games, which, sad to see for the German fans, of course.
I will be very honest. I didn't expect Levon to do that well. I thought his previous year was bad, and I thought you don't come back after 40. But actually, he's just proving me wrong. And with all these youngsters, I mean, he's on +2, of course. Nothing. Absolutely decisive, but it's already very good. Okay, today he's playing, at the time of recording, he's playing a risk-free position against Giri. Okay, it's 95% chances to be a draw, but still he's on +2, and that's very good chances to 95 is a bit high, but let's say 80. And I saw Peter. Okay, Peter, give me a number, please. I'll stop making faces.
No. Just when you said 95%, I was sort of wondering if you would give me odds 20 on a bet. I would probably take it, but of course.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, actually, I'm wrong. I mean, it's a bit. We are not going to discuss that live, but yeah. He's doing things in a very clever way. He got a lot of pressure from his white games, and then played very, very well. I'm very impressed by Levon. So this is the only surprise. Of course, Keimer is a bit is suffering, but okay, it's only 4 games played. He's on -2, of course. So there's only 9 games, so it will be difficult. I mean, like, getting on 50% will be a success, but you cannot judge. Of course, we don't judge players on 4 games or even 1 tournament, obviously. But it's pleasant to watch. Wesley on +1. I mean, we would have guessed that. So maybe your other boy, Wesley, can. I think Wesley will finish on +2 or +3. Let's see how it goes. I'm not surprised by Nepo. He's only making those look very uninspired. And I don't expect him to do better than 50%. To be honest.
Yeah, speaking of Wesley, one shocker for me was the game that Wesley won against Duda in the first round. Because this trick I've known all my chess life. I think it's from a game I'll misquote it, but from 77 or 78, Ripley against someone, Polugajewski, where they got this position. I'm not sure if you saw the game.
Bishop h6, yeah, of course, Bishop h6.
I'm Catalan with Bishop h6.
Yeah.
That's such a well-known trick, and also, of course, first line of any engine. So I'm not sure what went wrong there for Duda, but yeah, Wesley, he does his thing, plays solid openings, he's very well prepared, doesn't lose games, and if he's given a chance, he takes it, so...
Yeah, it looks more like a present than a chance, actually, because, yeah, this kind of stuff are not... You don't even have to calculate. Bishop h6 looks like a nice discovery, but this is a trick you should know, simply. It's that you so many times, and Wesley didn't have to calculate much. And there's not much to calculate.
No, I didn't investigate, but it's a bit odd, yeah, because the Catalan is an opening you expect, and if you play d takes c4 and c5 at the highest level, this queen a4 is one of the main lines, so to end up straight in that lost position, I'm not sure what went wrong there for Duda. Probably he mixed up moves somewhere. Can happen, but it always looks silly when it does happen, of course.
Yeah, it's a bit of MVL at times. That generally he knows his stuff, but sometimes it's just, I don't know. It improved quite a lot over the last few years, but still, he has these problems from time to time. So, yeah, that's not good, because against Wesley, I mean, you just give away 1 point. There is no way back against Wesley when you give him such a chance. That's it.
Yeah, against most top players after Bishop h6, I don't think you're coming back.
Yeah, that's true. Peter, what's your opinion on the tournament?
You have said so many things now here, so I mean it's gonna be hard to comment on them all. I mean, well, I think, well, of course, Aronian is the most outstanding, but I mean he's just playing like himself. I would say it's nothing extraordinary. Probably we have just gotten used to that. Well, he was playing badly. Here he's playing like normal Aronian stuff, and up to the Torov game, well, was almost too easy in a way for him. But Laurent is just a strong player, and he's also trying to provoke a fight here and there. But I mean, it's not like we have seen anything we didn't think Aronian was capable of. But it's just nice that it kind of works for him. And well, again, we come to this Kasparov thing that the chess world is a nicer place when Aronian plays well, and that seems to be the case here.
That was 10 years ago, sorry to...
Yeah, but I mean, it's still the case.
When he was number 2.
I mean, well, he plays... I still think he's a cool player, and...
no, of course.
I enjoy to see him doing well here. In the beginning, I was very impressed with Abdusattorov, but then his game with Aronian also showed his limitations. It was basically a game that was, quite unimaginable to see for such a strong player. We are basically starting to consider, I don't know, Abdusattorov a top 10 player in the world, or maybe as a minimum a top 20. But this game was sort of strange in that context, that he basically got a, strategically very lost position pretty quickly and just lost basically without a fight. So that was a bit...
He didn't check your DVD maybe on Dagon.
No, he should have checked my DVD, but I mean, well, the new works by Giri doesn't even quote my DVD, even if some of the lines are the same. So, maybe the youngsters missed them, right?
But what I like with Abdusattorov, that he's trying very different things in the opening. And sometimes these ties or these experimentations, they just backfire very bad way, and that was one example. So
no, I'm a huge fan of him in general. He's interesting to watch and follow, and you make a good point. Maybe he's just trying to push as hard as possible, and I mean, if you are not failing now and then, probably you're not pushing it enough, right? Then you're not going to find out and learn from the which kind of limitations you have. And I mean, both Wesley and Giri has not been in any kind of trouble, right? And maybe could have picked up some more points, but they are doing what they do, and well, it might not be sufficient to win this one if someone else gets a big score, but, they're doing their business. And Jan, of course, should get praise for that. Giri had good positions out of the openings, right? So, I mean...
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And what I like with Kasim, Kasim is the coach of Abdusattorov, is selling the same. He's selling over and over the same tricks. Petrov and Dragon. He used to... I think Dragon was what you prepared against us.
Okay.
In 2008, I mean, like the Bond match where Peter was part of Anand team, I was part of Kramnik team, and at that point Kramnik was playing E4 at times, but D4 was most likely. But Dragon was the antidote, no, against 1E4.
You're right that we prepared the Dragon for the 2008 match, but
you told me. So.
Yeah. This is even this is not a secret. I mean, but I will almost guarantee that Kazim is not reselling our Dragon prep there because that doesn't hold up.
But still, you know?
It doesn't hold up to modern.
No, the game was G4 H5, and you prepared G4 Bishop E6, so he's not reselling.
No. I mean, G4 H5 is also it's very creative. It's not that bad, maybe or something like this. I mean, I like the way he approached it up to Satorov, but I mean. Yeah, of course, it's puzzling. He ends up like he does, but we would not. If we had 100 guesses, we would not have thought this game is going to be a G4 H5 for Dragon, right? I mean,
yeah. Also, first round he played the Benko Gambit, which is also not an opening you expect at the top level.
That's so.
Makes something he was lost for a move there or in trouble against Nepomniachtchi, but clearly he's trying to surprise and put pressure with both colors.
Yeah,
and I guess they're still in the fine-tuning period to see what they can get away with and what not. Of course. Not all the shots are hitting, but it's an exciting player to have around.
But it comes to this, I think Larsen quoted someone for saying that, if you play the Caracan when you're very young, what are you going to do when you're old, right? So he's trying out some stuff, and he's entertaining to see, and he's still on 50% if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And how about tell us, I was very surprised. I saw some video on social network with the players hanging out together, all like best friends, playing this bug house and stuff, playing table tennis. Small table tennis. Greetings to Mazetovic, who is, of course, the world champion of small table tennis. But yeah, people seems to hang out together, which is not the case with the absolute top. I couldn't... let's say Fabi and Magnus playing Bug House in the middle of the tournament.
This has happened many times. Normally it happens after the tournament is over. But here was the night before the rest day. And also it's a very, very private setting. There's not that much going on. But I'm always shocked how much everybody loves Bug House. I don't know all the players that well. But this guy, Abdu Satorov, who normally looks all business... was just smiling, having a great time. The Indian kids, Gukesh, Pragnanda, are really, really into it. They all really love Bug House. It's a chess party. It's playing Bug House. It was fun to see. But yeah, it seems like the vibe is quite relaxed. But from what I understand, okay, maybe before the rest day, normally there aren't that many such sessions, but it's usually sort of relaxed at these super tournaments, no? Before games, of course, people.
Yeah, but during the tournament, I thought even before FIDE, I thought that doesn't exist. So we do have with Jan, we have chess party, but no chess is involved. We should guarantee that to the viewers. We don't play Blitz, we don't play Bug House, we don't want to see a chessboard, and we are just having a drink and talking about life. Yeah,
we're all broken cynics. Yes, beautiful. These active guys, so they still love a chessboard. They get excited.
Actually, it's a bit shocking to me, but yeah, okay. It's nice. It's nice to watch. Yeah.
Some points, for instance, if you go back to Monaco, you can find a lot of people. Pictures of people playing table football and stuff like this. At some point, there was a phase where everybody was playing this game. I forgot this semi-card game. Spy game. We have all played it together. I just forgot the name right
Okay,
now.
So it's normal, yeah?
You're bad. You're either evil or good. I forgot the name.
Of course. Spy.
Mafia. Spy.
No,
Werewolf.
it has a particular... Avalon.
Avalon, yeah. Avalon.
Yeah, we were all playing that for a while. Then, I think there is phases like this, and people generally like to do such if it's provided for them in an easy fashion. I would guess so.
So it was only Kasparov actually who was not doing that. Let's face it. Maybe Kramnik as well. I can't imagine. I can't picture Kramnik or Anand playing Bug House before FIDE in the top tournament. You see what I mean? Even if when they were young, or maybe when they were young.
Kramnik I have played Avalon together with. That he did.
Yeah, Kramnik, Magnus, Fabi. Also really depends on the setting. If everybody's in the same hotel and there's some half private area where people can go hang out, they usually will, but chess players won't go out of their way to organize like a meeting point or do together. But if it comes sort of naturally, and here it's a very confined space, I think people hang out.
Actually, heavily agree with Jan's point there that I think logistics matters a lot. If there is a natural setting, you will do it like this, else people will just end up on their rooms and things like this. I mean, if you give them this private setting, yes. If it has to be in, public with everything else, most likely not. I think that's somehow how we operate.
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody still sticks to their routines, of course. I mean, you prepare, and on game day, you do your walks, your breakfast, your lunches, whatever, at a certain time. But other than that, I think after games, even if there's not a rest day, people often feel like decompressing a little bit. And sometimes it's dinner with your second or your family. Sometimes it's hanging out a bit in the, whatever it's called, VIP room. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. But of course, it's a tournament everybody takes seriously. But it's not a World Championship tournament match or a candidates tournament. So, it's a good mix.
I actually forgot to comment on Nepomniachtchi, but I kind of agree with you guys. I mean, it again gives this, not the instability of Ding. I mean, if anything, Jan is very stable, but it's still this, you get the impression that, you're not really pushing for real, you're not really playing all your opening ideas or something like that. I mean, or maybe you disagree, but that's very much how I see it, right? It's more like a warm-up rather than it's for real.
No, it's clearly meant as a warm-up, but I think he's doing it sort of smartly. I mean, he will play the Petrov. If he doesn't play the Petrov, it doesn't mean that Ding doesn't know he can play the Petrov, so might as well play it. And with White, it looks like he's trying to get games, but not in particular show directions. Against Anish, he played some, fairly harmless English in order to get a position. Okay, against Dusseldorf, he played d4, which he doesn't play regularly, but he was surprised by the Benko. So it's hard to read too much into it, but I think he mainly tries to get some experience with the time control and is not trying to maximize his result.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, he didn't get much going on, let's say, and except against Giri, but he was on not on the good side of it. So overall, I don't like his way to, I mean, you have to show something if you want to get anywhere against these guys. So, it's a bit of, if you want some real training, you need to show something and at least some small ideas, or I don't know, something to get the game going. But I don't know, let's see.
Yeah, as usual. If he wins the World Championship, he will have done everything right.
Yeah.
I think Jan is right. I mean, whoever wins Jan or Ding, we will praise their approach. Right now, we cannot tell the difference.
We will blame the losers. The loser, sorry, because we are haters. So.
No, I think I remember this from this Golden State book that basketball team that they are writing that, you have this one lucky shot in the end, and that means that you get to tell your story or how great it was. If someone else has this lucky shot, it's them who gets to tell their story, right? So it's, I don't think we can get much.
You mean like Paris Saint-Germain was very lucky against Munich, yeah?
Well, it's
I had to make that topic. Sorry.
France against Argentina, no?
France against Argentina was just the blind referee, but that's another topic. It's not about luck. It's about a blind referee. That's it.
Oh, I can tell you that story while we're on the topic of football. This hotel we're staying in, the team from Bayern, after the night after they beat Paris, they came here, so there were 2 Bayern buses outside. They had a game in Mönchengladbach, I think 2 days later. So they came here, and the other day I couldn't connect my AirPods, so I checked the Bluetooth and suggested I connect to Leroy's MacBook Pro.
Wow! So you're staying in the same hotel than top football players. So your hotel is great, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how they can afford it, but somehow they snuck in here. And there were a lot of people waiting for pictures. I thought, wow, chess is big in Dusseldorf, but it turned out they were waiting.
So you actually had the chance to play any kind of rap song on this guy's earpods, and how did you do it?
I thought I'd leave him alone. I'm not sure how it works technically, but I could have connected to Leroy's MacBook Pro. He was probably in the room next to me. But
yeah, wow.
No, I mean, I'm not jealous at all. Next time, you should get in touch with Mbappe, and then if you have like Kylian Mbappe AirPods and so on, then I will be like, I will expect that.
I have actually stayed in the same hotel with a national football team, but I guess you can easily guess who it is.
No.
No.
My favorite topic.
Your favorite topic? What is FIDE?
FIDE national team? Like,
No, Russia's national team.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. In the 2010 World Championship match, it was played in. No, was it 12? Sorry, it was 12. It was played in Moscow, and I think they were preparing for something, and the whole team stayed there, used the same hotel, and we saw Arshavin, for instance.
Come on, your favorite topic is FIDE. Come on, so
fair enough.
Give us a bike. I mean, like.
But how does these football players look? Compared to chess players, they're pretty much in shape, right? Or that was my impression back then.
I don't know. I felt I could fight most of them. They're not that big. Like they're, of course, they're in shape, but they're small. I mean,
okay.
I'm used to watching basketball, but football players, I don't know if there's any science behind it. On average, I would think they're a little smaller than
Well,
than basketball? I mean, basketball.
No, obviously
of
than
course.
basketball, but then the average human being. No, at least from what I saw. Of course, you have some tall defenders, but there's a lot of guys that are like 170. I mean,
Well, I thought was a great thing about football, that basically sort of your body, things are not that defining there. Like, for instance, in basketball, of course, height matters a lot, for instance. I thought in football, there is basically room for most kind of sizes and stuff like this, right?
yeah, I think being in shape probably helps in football, but yeah.
No, I'm not saying that we could just jump in, and there's a lot of things, but it's not sort of, it's not some kind of outstanding feature. You'll say, okay, he should be a football player. Football is general quite.
Yeah.
Well, also now you mentioned basketball. I mean, me and Jan has a fantasy team called the Chicken Chat Podcast in a private league.
Really?
Jan, while I sort of was the one involved in getting the players for the team, because Jan was busy at the time, he's the one running the team, and he's doing incredibly well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we've been crushing. We won a couple in a row. Magnus and Eric Hansen are the main competition in the league. But yeah, so far so good. But also, as to be said, we had a good run because we didn't have many major injuries. So.
But we are basically cruising towards the playoff. Missing the playoff is going to be rough, right? And then playoff, anything could happen, as far as I see.
Yeah, then it's about injuries and luck. But our team is competitive.
Very much so.
I didn't even know about this Chicken Chess Club team on basketball.
Well,
you didn't ask my opinion.
We have a majority without you, right? So.
Yeah, but I should be asked anyway, no?
We can get Rudy Gobert for you.
Tony Parker. Okay, you're retired.
Nicolas Batum.
Yeah, but all respect, Laurent. I mean, at some point you were basically told, as part of your being in Team Magnus, to have a fantasy football team, right? But it was not a very, I don't know.
I did it.
You did it, but you didn't take it very seriously. I would put it like that.
I mean, I'm taking that guy. I remember 1 year I took some guy who had been transferred to Italy.
Yeah.
so he was not. He was one of my players in the main team, and I didn't. Yeah, Lukaku. And I didn't notice he had signed to Milan. So yeah, that showed my. But I did fulfill your request to create a team.
Yeah, I understand. But, I'm just trying to explain why we didn't sort of volunteer to have you in our small team.
Yeah, no, I don't like basketball.
No,
trust me, I'm working hard. I mean, I'm not sure all my moves are great, but it's no,
but you're selecting players I've never heard about before, for instance. So that's.
But he didn't as well. It's just completely random.
Maybe. No, the results seems to indicate otherwise. So let's.
No, it's my hobby, so it's not a lot of work. But still, let's not celebrate yet. It's going to be rough.
Fair enough.
Let's move on to a much less cheerful topic. We haven't covered this last week, but all the talk in the chess world for the last week has been about the tweet by Jennifer Shahade regarding Alejandro Ramirez. She had a tweet on February 15th saying, "Time's up. Currently, there are multiple investigations underway on Alejandro Ramirez and sexual misconduct, including a series of alleged incidents involving a minor. I was assaulted by him twice, 9 and 10 years ago. I had moved on until the past couple of years when multiple women, independent of each other and with no knowledge of my own experience, approached me with their own stories of alleged abuse. These accounts were from much younger alleged victims. I saw alarming evidence, including text that admitted abuse of a minor while he was coaching her, as well as a text of an alleged victim about being an underage temptress." That's what Jennifer Shahade tweeted on the 15th. And yeah, since then, of course, it's also the big topic here and everywhere. It's, yeah, frankly, to me, it's shocking. Alejandro, he's been around the chess scene, in particular in St. Louis, but I don't know very much around the US chess scene for a long time now. He's the coach of the US women's team at the Olympiad, the commentator of the event there. And I think also, I don't know about the exact roles, but he's running the university chess program for one of the St. Louis universities. No,
yeah, he used to be as well a second of Caruana. I mean, during the match, we played. That we helped Magnus in 2018. So many. I mean, guys that everyone knows. I mean, like playing very little, as much as we do, but he's younger. But yeah, it's shocking to me actually. I mean, a friendly guy when you meet him. But yeah, it's very, very shocking, of course.
Yeah, there's ongoing investigations by the St. Louis Chess Club and US Chess. I'm a bit confused about this, but I'm sure it's following some due protocols. But why do Chess Club and the US Chess Federation investigate such things, or are authorities involved the same way? Like I didn't really understand. I saw a statement by Ramirez, I think, in the Chess.com article that he didn't want to comment because of the ongoing investigation by the Chess Club. But are they an authority? I don't know how it works. Maybe it's because he's an employee. They do their own investigation.
I guess that sounds reasonable enough. There can also be things that are perhaps not criminal, but there still could be against, for instance, their policies and things like that. For instance, I am not aware of U.S. law on this subject, for instance. But I mean, for instance, having relationships in Denmark with someone under a certain age, while it could be legal if you had nothing to do with each other, but let's say you were the coach, it could be a problem, and that, of course, the federation might come into things there. But I'm not into the specifics, especially of how it is in the US on some things like that. Well, it could also be reasonable if there is publicity about these things might have occurred in your chess club or your federation, that they also take care of this. But of course, if there is a parallel juridical thing going on, it could also be normal to sidestep it in a way. I don't know the details well enough, and also I'm not sure how much has been published about these kind of details, right?
Yeah, I know very little either. Also, I'd never even heard rumors about this, because in the chess world now I've seen many tweets that people heard the rumors or suspected something or so on. Like I wasn't aware of this, but yeah, of course.
I actually heard a rumor about it.
Okay.
I didn't as well. But of course it's great that, and it's not easy, that woman, that Jen spoke up, and because it happened, as far as I understood, a long time ago. So yeah, it's not easy to.
Well, a long time ago, other things towards her. She's also referring to newer incidences and things like this. I mean, from what I read from her statement was that, I mean, she had decided to not do anything about her own thing, but now that others were involved, she thought it was reasonable. But I mean, I don't think we have the full picture, so it's also difficult to say something definite, obviously.
No, we hope there's going to be things are going to come to light. But of course, support for Jennifer. What this must be very painful process also to try to go through once again. It's such a horrific thing, and the allegations.
I think she also mentioned that, this was a reason for her from withdrawing. I mean, she was a commentator for quite a while in St. Louis, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think they worked together on the show for a long time, But once again, we're speculating. I haven't talked to anybody involved there, but first, full support to Jen and the investigation. I hope everything will play out how it's supposed to.
So it's great that it's coming. As far as I know, it's the first time in chess that such a high-profile guy is accused. I mean, not accused, but let's say that someone is speaking up against such a high-profile guy, and it's good. I mean, because it happened with this Me Too in earlier, and it happened in life, and I'm sure that it also happened in chess. That's 100% sure. And when people are misbehaving, they should be punished for that. So and it's not easy to speak up. That's for sure.
No, I read this book. I'm not saying the cases are comparable, but this book on the Harvey Weinstein investigation by the New York Times and the amount of hurdles there by victims not wanting to speak, and also in that case, the legal system always encouraging them to make a deal and sign an NDA and get a settlement. So yeah, there's been the system has been very confusing about this kind of stuff. And of course, it's a very awkward topic for us to talk about because we don't really know.
It's easy to talk about the topic in general, but when it becomes as concrete as it is here, it's perhaps reasonable. Well, if we talk about it in general, then it will be seen very much as we're talking about this specific case. And maybe now things has escalated to the extent where it will be within the hands of the legal systems, as far as I understand.
Yeah. No, also for me, it's awkward to talk about in a general sense, because it's always easy for three middle-aged white men, except for Laurent, who's very young, to sit here and say, I don't know, I haven't seen it in the chess world. The chess world is fine. Well, you do see many accounts of women who seem to be very clearly saying that in the chess world there are also predators, and it's not fine. I can say, but once again, it's through my very limited experience, that, yeah, I haven't seen it very much, but also obviously you don't see this stuff in front of your eyes all that often. It's, I guess, just a topic I'm not qualified to speak on.
I have of course tweeted about things about Me Too in the past, and I think generally it's I have heard of several cases that, at least in my opinion, should be investigated. But I agree, it's a very difficult thing to handle. I mean, this we had seen, but I think Me Too should also happen in the chess world, and if that happens because of this, I think it's a good thing. I mean, one of my principal view has been that, well, I generally don't think chess should be sort of split between genders, but I think it's incredibly important that the females who chooses to be in chess is treated properly and not harassed in any kind of way. So I think it's very important that they can, feel safe, and also feel that when harassment happens, it's handled properly.
I agree with Peter for a change.
Yeah, of course, this topic will be around for a while, and I'm sure we'll come back to it. But yeah, for now, let's leave it at that. What else is happening in the chess world? The Pro Chess League has returned. I've been busy here in Dusseldorf. I haven't followed it much, but fortunately, Laurent Fressinet found someone to pay him to talk about it. So he will be an expert on the topic.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the qualification phase, which feels a bit like Champions League in soccer. You have this group qualification. Okay, it's all play all, but still it feels the same. And before it's warm up before the knockout phases. But it had been exciting. Magnus was playing, Naka was playing.
Nakamura lost a game to...
Nakamura lost the first game against Josephine Heinemann. He was not really... he was just crushing and then just blundered. So probably just a bit playing too fast, or, being a bit arrogant and a bit overconfident. So he was punished for that. That was enjoyable. Magnus made 4-4 for the chess ball, and his team won 8.5, 7.5, but nothing decisive. This is certainly the first round. It's a Swiss system where the top 8 will qualify for the quarterfinals, but all the top guys are there, and I think so. The format is quite good and quite exciting. I don't know if they should make more less of this qualification phase, which is a bit long and could become a bit boring at some point, but I don't think so. I mean, let's see. It's the first year I'm following that very, very closely. So let's see. And especially looking forward to the knockout. It will be very exciting because you have even a French team, this Chess Brass, these Gotham Knights from Naka. They have a very, very strong team. And what is nice, actually, I think it's nice. Or you will tell me, Peter, you won't like the idea, but there is you have to play with a woman. So there is average rating is 25-50, but you need a woman in these 4 players every week. And it gives, actually, Josefina Heinemann, she beat Nakamura, but she got a chance to play Nakamura, which without this purchase league, she wouldn't get a chance to play against him, simply. So I don't know what's your take on that, but this is a main, let's say, it's actually like the French league. The French league, we still have that one woman is mandatory out of 8 players. So I'm sure you don't like it, Peter.
Again, I should speak for myself,
Yeah,
but you are definitely right. I mean, well, I think in a sports competition, the key concept is that you bring the best players you want, and there should be no limitations on that. So there, I don't like mixing it like this. I mean, well, you can have special events perhaps where you mix genders, but well, the principal thing, in my opinion, should be let's find out who is best at playing chess without any kind of limitations. That's how I see how sports should be in general. So that's by far my main principle. You could also argue a bit that this rating cap is a bit strange. Also, it discriminates old guys like us, who is around 2600. I mean, we suddenly reduced to having absolutely zero value. Maybe that's a general thing about us, but I think specifically in this format, we have. I mean, it would just be completely insane to hire any of us free for a team, as far as I see it.
Yeah, it's completely insane. Yeah, especially, I mean, you, Peter. Sorry, but
I'm only 2,645 in Rapid. You don't think I'm heavily underrated?
No, it's
not really. I'm sorry.
They are not taking the rapid ratings. They are taking the classical. So you are massively underrated.
Okay, then I'm massively underrated.
No, but also to explain it to our listeners who are still here, I think the point is that they calculate average rating, right? But they cap it at 2,600. So Magnus also counts as 2,600, right?
2,700.
2,700. Okay.
And for women, they cap it at 2,350.
So we're literally the most useless type of players.
That's what I thought.
Don't bring the average rating down, but we also don't add any value above 2,700.
It's clear that the best deal ever is Uifan, because she counts as a 2,350. But she's not playing for any team. It's a Chinese team, Juvenjun is playing, so that's a pretty good deal. Magnus is a very good deal, obviously, but the best deals are women's over 2,550 or 26. I mean, the best woman in the world.
But I mean, we actually very close of having a team of the 3 of us, and my wife, if she only counts at 2,350, right? I mean, it's
that would be maybe let's
yeah.
We should lose a bit of rating. So let's play. Let's go to some open, Jan, and let's go together. I think it will be we will qualify for the purchasing.
I'll keep going to Thailand Open.
Yeah.
We can make the average
actually
work.
I know you care a lot about your rating about Thailand, but if you have to choose, it's going to be Thailand, right? It's a no-brainer.
Of course.
Yeah. I'll be going there.
I mean, he doesn't care even if it's 2,700. He will still go to Thailand.
I think at that point it becomes easier again, both keeping the rating, but also then you stop caring at some point, right? I mean, it's
it's actually a serious topic because Peter stopped playing. For me, I think also I don't have ambitions as a chess player, but to keep appearances, I want to at least stay above 2,600. And at some point, this might be very, very hard to do. No, like maybe now it's a little better because I work on chess. But many people just keep playing, and at some point, you are 2,530, and you're enjoying your opens, your holiday tournaments, your league games. I don't see myself being able to do it, but maybe at some point you just accept reality and go with it.
I'm afraid, Jan, that I had the same problem, but then the limits become lower and lower. Then when I lost my 27, I thought 2670 is fine. Okay, let's keep it above that. And 2650, 2630, and now I have the same problem that I think above 2,600 is fine. But I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a losing battle against poverty.
I'm afraid, we're not getting any younger by the day, and at some point we'll have to get lower limits.
I'm well prepared though. I have all these Anish files, so maybe if I'm 2900 in the opening and then 2300, I can still maintain 2600.
But I mean, at some point, Nick de Fermion was living in Denmark for quite a while, and I was incredibly impressed with him because he would just play all kind of local tournaments, pick up some prizes, but his rating would drop. I didn't seem to care much. He might even have a couple of beers, things like this, and just enjoy life and play. It was a bit annoying because it meant he was low rated, and when he played me, he would actually, pull himself a bit together and beat me. But I mean, in 2013, I thought, okay, this is my ideal. I should be able to do like him. And I tried playing one or two tournaments. It did not work at all for me on a personal level. It's incredibly hard to do. I mean, we all understand that life would be better if we did, but it's not going to happen.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah. And I think Jan is right. How keeping 2600 is nice, and at least for me, doing it by not playing, it's not exactly honorable, but it's still there.
Yeah, and how about we move to Thailand and we play some local tournaments, enjoying some beers, losing some rating? I think we wouldn't care much, actually. I mean, but it should be some compensations. Actually, so some great life.
Maybe some rapid tournaments. I really don't care about my rapid rating. Maybe they can make a rapid circuit or something. Yeah. No, it shouldn't be just grinding it out in GM norm tournaments where you're beating up by hungry Indians or Western European kids. That can't be the idea. But yeah, for Thailand, I'll sacrifice some rating. It's still also, I think, a valid goal. It keeps you going a bit to fight the decline. No, I mean, it's not like we have to play terribly every time we play. So it's some motivation to look at some stuff once in a while.
And to be honest, Levon, as I mentioned, I'm the same. I'm 1 year older than Levon, so it's a very good example.
100 points. You're both 100 points from your peak, so it's,
Lenier Dominguez is a great example. He was playing this week in the Purchase League, and I was I'm looking at his rating, as the way he's playing. Amazing. I mean, he's very focused, doesn't let it go. Having maybe the best result, actually, in his career this last few years. And if he's not 40, he will turn 40 very, very soon. I think he's born in 83
he's
or
41,
82.
40, yeah.
So, around 40, and he's showing such a dedication to the game. Also, he couldn't play for 2 years because he had to pay this whatever. So he couldn't play for 2 years because he needed this green card, or I don't know. He needed to move to the US, and he couldn't play. I mean, the lockdown, he couldn't play much. So it's very, very impressive to me to see such people doing well.
Team old people here.
Yeah.
What else is on our list? The 50 greatest chess games. I've made zero progress with my list. I still can't name any. Have you guys heard of any great chess games in the meantime?
No, I mean, for fun, I thought, okay, can I at least mention the 50 great chess moves? And I mean, I could come up with a couple, fear of bishop h3 and things like this. No, it's surprising how difficult these things is. It still puzzles me. I thought that, I mean, it should be so easy, but not really.
Did you check at least the game I sent in the chat group after the podcast last week? No?
Not at all.
No,
okay, come on.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Come on, I sent.
Are you sure you sent one?
Yeah, of course. I'm 100% sure. You can go. Please go and check. But okay, you have to scroll down quite a lot because Peter, not only Peter is tweeting a lot about FIDE, he's also spamming us in the group chat about FIDE.
Well, I see you sort of as guinea pigs, but there's something I'm not sure I should tweet about. I test it out on you guys to see if I get any reaction, right?
Yeah, and when we say it's great, you just don't publish it.
But where you're wrong is if you get no reaction, it doesn't mean it's great. Please tweet it.
No.
Yeah, so you didn't check my... so I didn't.
I have no idea what you talked about.
I've scrolled through a lot. I don't see any game here.
But I would also point out that ideally, you should suggest the game before we record, so we can talk about it in the show. Then give it us to us shortly afterwards.
That's just insane what you're doing to
me.
But
did you send with a T or with a D?
With a D, of course, as we do
Fair
here.
Enough.
Sorry,
they're just mocking my grammar.
It's been a long-standing inside joke.
Chess game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will
But
send
not
it
only
again.
this team, it also happened on Team Anand. Basically, we were debating which kind of Google ads do you get, and my Google ads was for grammar courses, which is quite impressive. So they simply
For grammar courses.
Sorry.
Your Google ads were for grammar courses.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Anyway, yes,
were
nice to meet
So
you.
I sent it now again. It's Kasparov Portic from Nixich 83 with Bishop H7 and a few moves later Bishop G7. For me, it's great.
Bishop G7, yeah, no, the guy.
For me, it's great.
It's
She's very, very good chess.
a good game, but yeah, it's not on the...
It's not on top 50?
What? Yeah.
Not top 10, I agree, but not top 50 maybe, no?
No, but for instance, Jan was mentioning who was it from the candidates? Ding against who? I forgot this.
Rapporting.
Yeah, you have different taste. I mean, Laurent just wants something, flashy and good looking, right? While Jan wants to have struggle and sort of combativeness.
Then Ding Caruana, this is Slav from the candidate.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was, especially when you know when you know that Fabi just blitz out some dubious line and Ding just busted the line over the border.
What about Kramnik Leko, this Marshall?
Yeah, that's fantastic as well.
Maybe not, but it was impressive, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest white prep.
No, yes and no. It was pretty good in a way, right, for each time. It was just a little bit unlucky. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. To get a lost position by force, I think, wasn't even good for the times with white.
I understand. Well, Vicious prep that worked so well against Kramnik was also kind of losing, right?
No, why kind of losing? It's -2 by today's standards.
Yeah.
So
as I said, kind of losing.
That was a sharp position with black. No, that I think is very different.
Yeah,
but
it's different. Yeah, that's true.
That black makes 3 good moves and is winning with black out of the opening. Anyway,
Yeah.
of course.
Anyway, fair enough.
It's a famous story.
No, I also thought it doesn't exactly cut it, but it's surprisingly difficult. And as our listeners can hear, we haven't prepared much on this subject since. But I think also even maybe 1 or 2 suggested some games, but none of them sort of stand out as classics. Maybe it's actually much more difficult to define what's a good chess game in a way, right? Me and Laurent disagree heavily, is my impression.
But Laurent only knows Kasparov games, so he's very limited.
No, I see Anish Giri from today. It might come. It might make it.
#1.
It might make it to my top 50 actually, to my top 10 even. Let's see what will be the outcome. But Levonov is pressing, it seems. So yeah, that could be. I mean, if he wins today, then it looks good for the tournament victory. But of course, we're far from that, and we'll find out.
It's still more likely a draw, and even if he draws today, it's not too bad for his tournament standings, I would like to add.
We shall see. I think we've arrived at everyone's favorite segment, certainly my favorite segment, because I get a 5-minute break. Peter, are you ready for 5 minutes of FIDE?
Not really, but I will. So I can use my 5 minutes, and we will see.
I was hanging out here with all your friends, but I can fill in later. Like Emile was here, and we took a picture, both for you, one for you, and one for Laurent, one for the appeals committee, and one.
So Emile, did you talk to Emile?
Yeah, of course.
To Dana as well?
Yeah, Dana is here as well. She right now.
So you're big friends with them, no?
I'm working very hard on our future, Laurent. Don't you worry. But now, Peter,
I'm very worried.
will be given the floor.
I'm incredibly worried.
I can. First of all, I mean, there has been some online polls, and I would like to thank our listeners that they had to vote on should we skip the segment or should we make it longer. And while Jan and Laurent is leaving, and I could probably say whatever now, it actually turns out that, at least those who voted would, if anything, prefer a longer segment than not having it at all. So that I'm obviously very pleased about. There's actually been a Dvorkovich interview in the last week with some substance. That's extremely rare since last year. So I thought I would take a few things there. I mean, a bit of chit-chat in the beginning. They even ask sort of, is Germany a very important chess country? But with Jan not being here, there's not much to fun in that. Dvorkovich praises Germany, says they are a very important market for chess, which is right. When it gets to perhaps more substance, they start asking Dvorkovich a bit about, how is chess and politics mixing? And they sort of say that, he's a representative of the Russian regime, and he strongly denies that. He says that, no, I mean, I'm the president of a chess federation. I'm not representing Russia in that way. And they sort of try to, it's from Süddeutsche Zeitung, they try to ask, Putin was part of your campaign. And he said, not at all. I mean, Putin supported it, but only moral, not in any kind of active way or any kind of financial way. I think that's wrong, but he's saying that. And again, Dvorkovich states he's a Russian citizen, but not part of the regime, and keeps repeating this concept of being a Russian citizen, yes, but not connected to the government at all. Other interesting things also appear a bit sort of later there. He's asked about, sports and politics mix all the time, especially in Russia. And he said, unfortunately, this seems to be the case, but it's not something that he favors at all. I mean, then they, again brings up the sanctions of Russian players, and he goes along with the usual, let's say, FIDE tune. That's actually, we have put quite some sanctions towards Russian chess players along the recommendations of the IOC. I mean, I don't think that's true. IOC recommends much more, but he's actually answering questions on that, which is kind of interesting. His usual analog is that chess is doing like in tennis, and that's also, the example, for instance, the FIDE CEO, Mr. Sutovsky, has been doing, and they are right. We are doing quite a lot like tennis. The problem is that tennis and chess is heavily in the minority in that sense. So tennis becomes the typical example, and it's used here again. What else is there of interesting? Yeah, Dvorkovich stands on hard that no, for instance, when we sanction Russian team, because when you are playing for a team, you represent the countries, but it's important that individuals are only representing themselves, is his point of view. And he says that, he's already cared about the legal side of that, and it's clear that as an individual, he thinks that, you represent yourself, or if you're playing under the FIDE flag, you represent FIDE, not legally Russian. Then they sort of ask, you can argue that's legally, but how is it in a PR way? How is it, in how the Russian, for instance, would see it? And he talks about that, how it's perceived is a different thing. What can they actually do about Russian PR? Even would they not like it, what can be done about it? And sure, it's quite likely that in Russia we will talk about our Jan Nepomniachtchi, not the FIDE's Nepomniachtchi. But how things are perceived cannot be the responsibility of FIDE. And when he talks about public affairs, he will say that sure, perhaps in Europe this is a problem, and people will look at it like that. But if we go to other parts of the world, he thinks they would care less. And that's a general point. You can see he brings up quite often that, we are taking a European point of view, and this is not a more global perspective on it. And, that is a general thing you also see in politics, that, of course, it's Europe's security threatens that mainly is threatened, and those who cares a lot about these things. Then... it's mentioned that Magnus, for instance, has reacted to this, but he sort of downplays that Magnus didn't exactly say this. He more said that he's moving his position, and maybe it's Magnus' sponsors that are trying to influence him, and so on and so forth. And another interesting thing is perhaps that, they're asking him directly, what is your opinion on Vladimir Putin? And he says, I would rather not comment on that. And, it's a good response in the way that it's a sensitive topic, and whatever he says, it will put him into trouble. On the other hand, I would argue that, it's a problem that there is no comment on that, because, you cannot work for someone who is doing things like Putin is doing, obviously, for 18 years, and not expect others to actually want you to comment on it. I think the problem is that not so much that Dvorkovich is saying no comment, but that I would say as a minimum, the Western part of the chess model to say that, well, no comment is not a reasonable reaction under these circumstances. We actually expect you to distance yourself and, to say something considerably harsher because no comment is not really working there. Also, the journalists are trying to, catch Dvorkovich the same way that we, for instance, have been doing in the campaign. They're saying, well, you have this comment in Mother Jones where you talk about that your thoughts are with the Ukrainian civilians, but then 1 or 2 weeks later on the Skolkovo website, you publish something that's heavily supporting the Russian army and the operation in Ukraine. And these things kind of contradict each other. And, Dvorkovich's reply is that, he would rather not add to these words. And again, it's like the other no comment. It's a pretty brilliant answer, except for, it's brilliant in the sense that it keeps the uncertainty that, if you prefer, you can always refer to one of the point of views and that they're contradictory to each other. Yeah, that's basically the point. But I thought overall it was an interesting interview and quite some kudos to the journalist who was sort of asking it. Also, they asked about the thing about Iran, specifically this Bayat case with the T-shirt. But again, the question is asked, is FIDE protecting Iran because of the connections that right now Iran is actually an ally of Russia? And Dvorko says it's nonsense. Again, I don't agree with this, but they are touching these kind of sensitive issues, and Dvorkovich is answering some of them. So I would recommend you to look at the interview in Süddeutsche Zeitung. But I can see now my co-hosts of this episode are saying that I'm going way out of time. So they apparently still seem to be under the impression that we should do 5 minutes and not 21. And although I disagree, I'm in a minority.
And we'll make a brilliant answer to your 7 minutes of FIDE, no comment.
Yeah, no comment.
This is a brilliant answer, according to you. I was listening to this no comment.
To most of it, yeah.
You think it's a brilliant answer, you think? Because it will put into trouble, yeah?
If you can get away with no comments, of course it's a great answer.
Yeah, but okay, you can say that all your. It's a weak answer, I would say. But yeah, okay.
I think so, but it's only weak if there is. If no comment means that you get so much pressure to answer it because it's weak, and if you don't, then it's a great answer, obviously.
Jan?
No comment.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, you see?
Boom. It's a brilliant answer. He looks very clever now.
I have no way of pushing Jan into answering, so it's a great answer.
I didn't listen. I have no idea what Peter was talking about. Exactly. I could make some wild guesses, but it's very hard to tell from his Twitter.
Actually, I really needed you for this segment because this was a Dvorkovich interview, but in German. So I had to Google translate it, while with you we have gotten it in the original language and had much more nuances. So, you could actually have been a translator here. But
I wasn't aware. But it was in Süddeutsche Zeitung. Yeah, I'm not a subscriber. I subscribe to Die Zeit, but yeah, Süddeutsche was in the final 2, actually. Those are my 2 favorite German newspapers.
Okay. What are your 2 favorite German newspapers, Laurent?
Favorite newspaper? You mean in France?
Yeah. I meant in Germany. But
in Germany,
it's Kicker and Sportbild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Frankfurter Allgemeine has some critical pieces on FIDE at times, right?
I think, maybe Leffler writes for them, but they're not, not in the inner mix for me. Like it's slightly different vibe.
Fair enough. Anyway, we got this over with for this week. Oof. We can move on to Javier.
Massively overweight.
What's going on, Laurent? Do you wanna speak for 5 minutes? What's on your mind, or do we move on?
No, but I just did. It's unbelievable. I got blamed for 2 minutes of Quatli, and out of 43 episodes, while Peter is campaigning all the time on our podcast. But yeah, and then the producer keeps on, our great producer keeps on referring to this corner. But I don't have any. No, I don't have any claims.
Okay.
All right, then we move on to questions. Are these Patreon suggestions? We've decided to become a big business. Patreon.com, Chicken Chess Club. Our current business model is you give us $5. You get nothing in return. But we're working
euros,
very hard on it.
Is it
€5, even better.
It's yours. It's yours.
Ah, okay.
I really think so.
we will take any currency except rubles. But yeah, I mean, I think.
Your 5 minutes are over, Peter. Please.
Sorry.
Behave yourself. It's €5.
Okay, go on.
Let's see what we got here. We got a suggestion from Nabaran Chuturi. Sorry if I bungled the name. PH was the CEO. That's Emil, I guess. Chess boxing at Mandalay Bay. Oh, I've been to Mandalay Bay. They have a fantastic fake beach with fake waves. Was my favorite of the Vegas hotels I've been to.
I think I've also been there, actually. I played the World Championship in 1999, right? I mean, it wasn't this area. So, yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Chess boxing at Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas with Showtime pay-per-view. Yeah, sounds like it's going to be as successful as our Patreon. Commentary from Danny King and Morris Ashley. Event sponsored by hidden and unknown EU-based Gazprom subsidiary. That's what people need. Sounds fantastic.
I mean, I have already said that, I mean, chess, boxing, political debate, I'm up for it with Emil. I'm kind of on this one. I'm counting on him chickening out, but sure. It's probably not going to happen. I think.
You can always dream.
Yeah. I do actually have a pair of boxing gloves, so, I mean...
Well, you can also make it bare knuckle, like in the movie Snatch. And you should have Laurent Strand getting punched by someone as a warm-up act.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, if it's me and Emil, we have to be the main match. I'm sorry, I'm not just going to do it.
No, but poor Laurent, I mean, come on.
One-up.
Why you are doing that to him? I mean, it's so random, yeah? Poor, yeah?
He's doing it to himself.
Yeah, but, I mean, shot fired for nothing, like to Laurent.
You know how Laurent is. He's only upset if he doesn't get mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this one worked out okay for Laurent, to be honest. I think he... Yeah.
I mean, like, the referee stopped the fight after...
A lot of PR and things like this. It was an interesting experience. I mean...
Interesting.
Highly interesting.
Training like maniac for 3 months and then getting punched and knocked out after.
Yeah, he got into shape. This kind. I mean, it's just what's the experience? It's also. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
It's like saying that me and Boris Pollett's campaign was not a massive success just because we lost, right? I mean, it's
the way, yeah. So you think you are one of the guys who.
Lawrence, please keep some brain cells. You still need that GM title.
yeah, that is true. That's true.
What else we got? Gustavo V. Barroso wants Banter Blitz. Banter Blitz is always around on many platforms. No,
who invented this, by the way?
It's Jan, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can take credit, but yeah, I'm sure people were doing it online to some extent. But yeah, I think we were early on this.
I actually think I've never done it. But what is the definition of Banter Blitz? That you play Blitz and you insult people, or
you don't have to insult, but of course it's recommended.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On the radio, Jan is insulting people.
Yeah.
He should come back.
But he disappeared.
One day. Bacon Cream is saying Mind Games 2012 match recaps. That project was talked about a lot. It was not executed because of laziness. But
I want to state that I actually spent at least half an hour commenting one of the games. So, I mean, the start of the book is there, but it could happen. But on the other hand, I mean, the 10-year jubilee was kind of the logical point to do it.
But 20 years.
There's always a logical point to do it. I don't know. Maybe we need some help. Maybe Michiel Abeln can help us with the book.
That was a touchy subject, but sure.
Chessentials is saying, any chance long-term patrons eventually receive a signed copy of PHN's future book titled My 60 Memorable Tweets or Fressinet's book My 60 Memorable Morning Games?
Am I sensing some kind of sarcasm here? Or, I mean...
I don't know. I don't speak sarcasm.
Am I tweet as bad as Laurent's morning games?
Well, they're longer.
Yes, they're longer.
Yeah, they're longer. That is true. That's a good.
But also they're similarly repetitive. So no.
Maybe I get it.
Yes,
really not. But
when you saw one, you saw all of them. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
You're basically saying that my tweets has more similarities than all these Berlin draws. I mean.
No, I'm saying they're similar.
Yeah. And again.
Martin B. Justison is saying, could we follow the correspondence games more closely? Absolutely not.
No, this actually I would like to point out that both the FIDE segment and the correspondence segment, you guys have been mocking a lot, but based on, user sort of questions, there is actually some interest.
I'm sorry, but we didn't make a poll about correspondence. Let's do that.
No, but some were mentioning it.
But
what's happening there and things like this.
But I was voting. I was even voting, mocking like.
Well, let's make a poll. It's fair enough. Let's not talk more about it, but we make a poll. Should I give a thorough review on the developments or not? That sounds.
But we are being so annoyed with Jan that it's that people think it's fun because we are very annoyed.
Yeah. But we can find more topics that Peter's into to be annoyed. It doesn't really have to be correspondence. Actually, I'm checking because I haven't checked the poll and the comments. 0 minutes of FIDE 14%, 5 minutes 33%, 10 minutes 24%, 1 hour of FIDE 29%.
Yeah, so some people are just
Chess profile saying 0, please. FIDE talk is so boring and feels like even some just hate on it because they have to. It doesn't even seem genuine at times and seems forceful.
Yeah, making that up, no?
Christian Gonzalez Riquelme is saying 0, please. It is so boring and predictable. Francesco Bruno is saying, come on, you know what you should do. You should have a discussion and come up with something to say because it always sounds like you're too coward to have an opinion. That's Peter's burner account.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the people seem to love it. Anyway, if you got nothing else, I think this was it.
Oh no, I have to advertise. I'm going to Germany, of course.
Wow. What's in Germany?
We are going to have a public debate on the 1 year day of the full-scale innovation in Berlin. There's the Berlin Chess Federation has invited those who are pro and con Russian influence in FIDE, and only the con guys are going to show up. So we're basically going to debate with ourselves there. But I'm actually going to Berlin.
It's not a debate. It's just you and Paul Meyer-Dunker agreeing.
Well, Bayard, Malcolm Payne will be there as well, but basically, yes. So, that's you're right. Their debate is going to be a bit strong, but we'll see. But we're both going to be in Germany on Friday, Jan. So different parts, but still.
We may all be in Germany on Friday.
You?
Maybe we all be. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
I cannot reveal much.
Most likely. We won't see each other, even though we're all...
I think you can easily roll out. But yeah, I'll be in the capital. So yeah, good.
There you go. So if you happen to be in Berlin and you want to see Peter Heine Nielsen in person, where do you go?
5 o'clock, there is a simul at Brandenburger Tor. And at 8 o'clock, there's going to be a debate. Everybody is welcome. Please come.
And if you want to play golf with Peter in Berlin, show him around.
I have back injuries from my, training without the golf. Yeah, somehow I'm trying to sort of use the new techniques that I was reading about in Wijk, and it's tough on my body. I get some, I'm old, Laurent. At some point when you get to this age, you will see how things are.
Oof, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There were some other techniques in Wijk that were tough on people's body, but we'll revisit that topic.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Another week. That was it for this week. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Do the thing. Leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Send us free money.
Subscribe to YouTube.
€5 on Patreon.
Hit the bell. Join our Patreon. We'll make it worth your while. Maybe. That was it for this week, and we might be back next week with more excitement on the Chicken Chess Club. Until then, thanks for listening.
Bye.